Hey everyone, and welcome back to Film Studios. Today is episode 7 of my Spider-Man review series, and today the movie we're going to be reviewing is Venom. First things first, I'm going to go through the things that stop this movie being just a little bit better. And one of the first things is that Spider-Man isn't in the movie. And they said the Spider-Man wouldn't be in the movie. That was a point that they made straight away. But although this doesn't ruin the movie, I think that just the inclusion of Spider-Man here could have been so much better. And like the thought now that they're gonna maybe put Tom Holland in Venom, in future Venom films, it doesn't worry me, but it's really upsetting, because that means that if Tom Holland is to ever get the symbiote, then it has to be stripped from Eddie and given to Peter. So we'll be in a Venom film where Venom isn't Venom. So, I don't know. It's weird. I wish that Spider-Man was just in this just to get the suit first. Or, even if he wasn't in it, I think it would have just been better to have, like, I don't know, a cameo from him. Maybe from, like, Andrew Garfield just losing the symbiote. So to the point where maybe Andrew Garfield is taking the symbiote off and it goes straight on to Tom. Because I'd like to think that Tom Hardy's Venom would coincide with Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Those universes would fit perfectly together. So that's how I would have liked it to be. However, this movie is still pretty good without Spider-Man. It doesn't make the movie any worse. I just think it would have been so much cooler to see Spider-Man turn up here. So, right at the beginning of the movie, we see the symbiotes land in the space shuttle, and we see that one of the symbiotes escapes. This symbiote is Riot. Now, we see Riot switch hosts, like, all the time. The first host that he gets is an ambulance driver, then he goes into some sort of shanty town and takes over an old woman, and then he ends up in an airport and takes over a little girl. I just don't like how at the start of the film we're seeing him taking over the old woman, and then after he does this, it says something like 6 months later or something, and we just completely forget about Riot. Like, he's seen later taking over the little girl, but what has he like? Has he just not been detected over these 6 months? Has he just been going host to host? Like, there's bound to be a trend of people dying, people being ill, people going missing from all the hosts that he's taken, and just no one has it. Like, there's nothing on the news. There's nothing being reported of people going missing, people doing strange things, being super strong and powerful. Like, we never hear a report of all those people that were killed in the shanty town when he takes over the old woman. We never hear anything relating to that. So it's like Riot just exists, and like, it's not believable that all these people are going missing, all these people are dying, and nothing's being reported of it. It doesn't make sense. So that bugs me quite a bit. But, you know, it is what it is. It doesn't completely ruin the film. It's just a little gripe that I have with it. That, like, it's like, oh, come on, surely something would have came of that. Like, it wouldn't go completely unseen. Right, so there was literally only those two things that I didn't like about this movie. This movie is not perfect, okay? From like a genuine, like, Oscar-winning movie review perspective, this probably is definitely not the best movie, okay? But it's so fun. This movie is so fun to watch, and I could watch it over and over and over again. There's comedy, it lands quite a few jokes. Venom, the relationship between Venom and Eddie is perfect. I find it entertaining to watch every time. Tom Hardy is brilliant in the role. Overall, it's just a really fun watch. It's, you know, you don't really have to be a Marvel fan to understand what's going on, because it's completely new. You know, usually people are used to seeing Venom with Spider-Man, and that's completely non-existent in this universe. So to someone who's new to Venom, this is a complete new origin for the character. You're here from day one. Nothing has happened to this version of the character beforehand, so everything you see on screen is everything you need to know about him. It's really easy to understand, really easy to watch, and overall it's a really fun film. So let's get into the things that I really like about Venom. Tom Hardy. Now, he is amazing in this movie. I've only seen Tom Hardy in a couple of films, and I either really love him in the movie or I really don't like him in the movie. For example, Legend, right? Amazing movie. Tom Hardy, you're a god in that film, right? He plays the Cray twins. He plays them both amazingly. On the other hand, Mad Max, do not like him in Mad Max. I don't like him in The Dark Knight Rises as Bane. People will probably hate me for saying that, but I don't like him as Bane. Venom, Eddie Brock, he slaps this role, okay? Tom Hardy manages to present to us a character that is the cockiest of all arseholes ever, right? Because, you know, he gets his girlfriend fired for reporting on the Life Foundation, stuff that he shouldn't have known, all that stuff. So he's a bit of an arsehole, but he's so caring as well, and he wants to do the right thing, but sometimes when he does the right thing, it doesn't always, you know, have the best outcome. So I love how Eddie is portrayed in this movie. I think Tom Hardy also does an amazing job at actually voicing Venom. I didn't even know that he voiced Venom in this. I thought it was someone completely different. I thought they had a Venom dedicated voice actor, but Tom Hardy voices Venom in this movie, and I didn't know that. He does an amazing job at doing this. When Topher Grace was Venom in Spider-Man 3, I mentioned this in my Spider-Man 3 review, he comes across as just a bit laughable, like he's not scary at all. He's just like a douche in an alien costume with immense power, and it's kind of laughable. But Tom Hardy really sells this scary, huge symbiote creature from another planet that, you know, likes eating heads for breakfast. You know, he's a really scary guy, and the actual CGI model of Venom, you know, helps sell that. You know, Venom is a hulking creature in this film. He's not human-sized like in Spider-Man 3. He's a big guy, and Tom Hardy does a great job at delivering the voice for Venom in this film. Carlton Drake, the main villain in this movie, I told you I'd remember it, is amazing. One of my favourite Marvel villains on screen. He's not so much a world-ending villain in this, but the way that he's portrayed, right, is just beautiful. He's not like, I'm gonna destroy the world type bad. He's just the most, like, toxic and most disgusting people. You know, like on Earth, you just got disgusting people that are so corrupt with power and like, I can do whatever I want. He's that type of person. And when you see him in like the scenes where he gets in that first homeless guy, and you know, he recites like a Bible verse to him, and he's like, everything's gonna be okay, and he's like the nicest dude ever. He lets the symbiote out, and the dude just gets killed, and he's just like, yeah, next person please. Don't worry about that guy, he's dead, we'll just get the next guy in. And you're just like, what a wrong un, like, you know? And I feel like that's just perfect, you know? I love a villain that isn't just like, ooh, I'm a big bad guy who wants to destroy the world. I love a villain who's just an absolute monster on the inside. And obviously then when he gets Riot later on, that just lends itself to each other, because he's a monster inside a bigger monster. It's perfect. A quick little attention to detail that I absolutely love from this film is something that I noticed the first time I ever watched it, and that is that Venom uses tentacles in this rather than webs. It's only a little detail like, but as I mentioned before, the symbiote has never been on Peter Parker before. It's never been on Spider-Man. So when Eddie is shooting webs shooting lines out to attach to stuff as Venom, it's like sort of the symbiote actually stretching. It's not like, sometimes you'll see a claw on it and Venom's claw sort of attaches in the wall. And I just appreciated that. I appreciated they were like, right, if Peter is not in this universe, he cannot shoot webs. They made a statement with that. They made sure that Venom was his own character in this film, and I love that little attention to detail. Good stuff. I absolutely love this. that when Eddie gets the symbiote, or when anyone pretty much gets the symbiote, there's like a period of adjustment where Eddie becomes really ill, really ravenous, like Venom is hungry and he's just eating loads of shit, like old chicken in the bin and stuff like that, making Eddie really sick. And I love how it doesn't just grant him instant power, you know? Eddie becomes really ill and really like sweaty, and you know, he looks bad, right? Because the symbiote is sort of adjusting inside his body, you know? I love that, that's really cool. I just, you know, when an alien enters your body, you're not just gonna be like, oh my god, I feel great. Something has just permeated your skin and is living inside you, a living organism that if you don't eat something, it will eat you. You're not just gonna feel instantly powerful when that happens, okay? So I love that they showed a period of adjustment in this film. Contradicting my point, I hate that I have to do this, but I just remembered. When Riot is bouncing between different hosts from the start of the film, they don't adjust. They become instantly powerful, and that's really ruined that now. Sony, why have you done this? I love that concept, that they don't get instantly powerful, and you really sell it when you're showing it on like Eddie and you're showing it on all the people inside the lab. But you completely forgot to do it for the people that Riot is hosting and going into. Why? Why have you done this to yourself? One of my favourite things about this movie, and you just ruined it. You've grabbed her in your hand and you've thrown her out the window and then pissed on it. What are you doing? Ah, right, so after that horrible realisation, and that's completely ruined it for me. Another thing that I love, the relationship between Eddie and Venom. How he like talks in his head and stuff, and I love how Venom just constantly makes fun of Eddie all the time. Like when he calls him a loser, all that kind of stuff, and like the elevator jokes. Great stuff. That's some of the comedy that really lands. It doesn't make me laugh out loud every time, but like after on the first watch I laughed, right? But on like other watches now, it makes me smile. It's funny, and I really like how it sort of talks in his head, because you gotta remember now that the symbiote is a living thing, and in like other movies such as like Spider-Man 3, you never hear the symbiote talk, you know, and I think that's a flaw, because the symbiote isn't just a suit, it lives, it is alive, and I love that they did that. So those are some of the things that I love about Venom. It makes the film really fun. It's a really great watch, even though it's not a perfect film. I really enjoy this movie. Overall, it's better than The Amazing Spider-Man 2. That's my verdict. Better than The Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's not great, but I say it's not great. It's great. It's a great film. It's not perfect, is what I'm saying. I could watch this film whenever. I come over your house, you want to watch this film? Chuck it on. I like this film. It's a good film. Anyone who doesn't like Venom, don't talk to me. Well, you can talk to me, but don't chat shit about it, bro. It's a good film. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a like, subscribe if you like all the other content on here. We upload very regularly. Don't forget to comment your opinions, give your opinions. When I said don't talk to me, please talk to me. Put all your opinions in the comments, but don't argue with each other, as I always say. Everyone has the right to their own opinion. No one is right, no one is wrong. It's a film, it's made for entertainment. We all have our own views. I love you all. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Hope to see you soon, and I will catch you guys in the next Spider-Man review. Goodbye.